Hi everyone, and welcome back to this reaction video. I appreciate you stopping by. And today we're going to be checking out the second to last track of this Gloire Éternelle album with Éternelle. And this track clocks in at almost a whole 19 minutes, so it's going to be really long. And I have received a comment from Rex Lupus in the past saying that this track is considered to be like the climax of this record, so I'm really excited to see what that will be like. And yeah, with 19 whole minutes, I'm sure that's going to be like a lot of different sections, a lot of different change-ups in the song, like softer sections, heavier sections. I'm ready for all of it. And because this is such a long song, I'm going to try not to pause as much as I usually do. I'm just going to point out like stuff that I like or, you know, stuff that sounds good. But yeah, I'm just going to try to enjoy this as much as I can. And in the words of Jeff Walker, let's rock. Oh, piano intro. That is new. That is new. That is a really nice guitar, by the way. I love the guitar intro so far. Like, this is a more of a slower section for sure, but I kind of like how there's like one bar or two where he kind of just fits in a lot of notes. It kind of adds a little bit more variation. I kind of like that. Like right here, he just fits in a bunch of notes, I feel like. Drums coming in. This sounds epic. Nice sweep picking arpeggios. Oh. I love this composition already. Like the sweep picking later on top of the slow guitar. They sound so beautiful together. Wow, really, really nice songwriting from these guys, as I always say, but wow. Sounds magical. Oh my god. Oh, that sounds nice. The little acoustic guitar strumming with the really, really liquid sounding fretless bass. I haven't reacted to these guys in a while, so I kind of miss how nice this fretless bass sounded. But man, that fretless bass tone sounds so nice. It sounds like it's like bouncing, you know? Oh wow. Okay, so I'm pretty sure like the bassist here only plays with his fingers, but some of these sections like sound like he's like sweep picking on a bass, on like a fretless bass, which is really, really cool. It sounds so nice though. I love this bass solo. Oh, that little slap. Nice. nice rhythm. That's cool. I like how the guitarist there specifically just shows a few notes to add like a whammy bar effect to, or add a little tremolo to. It makes it sound really cool. That tremolo though. Oh my god, acoustic guitar shred. Wow. Oh my god. I won't lie, I don't think I've ever heard acoustic guitar being played that fast. That must take an extreme amount of skill. Wow. That is really interesting sounding. I've heard some really nice acoustic guitar on this record so far, but I don't think I've ever heard it being played that fast. Wow. Nice whammy again. Oh, I like that on the downbeat. I like that, the little drum and the fretless bass hitting together on downbeat. Sounds so heavy. Sounds like a bell. This is heavy. Acoustic guitars again. Wow. With how much we're switching between like acoustic guitars and electric guitars, this almost kind of reminds me of like an Opeth track a little bit. And like the song length is also something that like an Opeth track would be. Definitely the songwriting of this kind of reminds me a little bit of Opeth. Except I don't think I'll hear any like soft vocals on this song. That slide. Oh, I like this section a lot. Actually gonna rewind a little bit. I really like that little pocket they had right there. It sounded like kind of evil in a way that I don't really think first Fragment songs sound that evil. This usually sound really technical, but that sounded kind of evil. This right here sounds kind of evil, I feel like. Wow. Those drums. That's cool. I like how the way they kind of end those verses, or each line in the verse. It's like very melodic in the start, and then when it's coming to the ending, it's like super super heavy. Like it's like super super heavy, like almost jank kind of feeling. Like. Right there. Wow. Oh, nice. Sounds like a monster, like Godzilla. Wow, that's cool. You can kind of hear like the lead singer just kind of like breathing on the mic, but in like kind of a menacing way. Wow. Like the way he's breathing sounds like he's adding like some kind of guttural vocals on his breathing, which sounds kind of crazy, but that's what it sounds like to me. It's like guttural. That sound. Wow. He sounds like an alligator or like a crocodile in like a swamp or something. Wow, that sounds really interesting vocals right there. Um, wow. It's like he's doing guttural vocals, but he's not actually letting like any of the sound escape from his throat. That's what it sounds like. so melodic. Those sweeps sound so nice. Listen to those drums, those blast beats. Wow. Oh, that was cool. It sounded like he's doing something kind of like the volume of his guitar, like the volume knob or maybe a volume pedal he used right there to make it sound like super like soft and almost like a string instrument, like a string instrument where you use a bow, like a violin or something. Let's listen to that again. That is a really interesting sound. I wonder how they got that sound. Yeah, it sounds really nice. It's like a Pokemon crying. Shreddy. Love that riff again. Oh. Oh, this is a repeat of the earlier section. Oh wow, I feel like First Fragment doesn't do this that often in their songs, at least from other songs I heard on this record, where they kind of go back to an earlier section or earlier riff that they had. But wow, this is definitely like from an earlier section too. That's kind of cool that they kind of brought it back here. And again with the bell like fretless bass. That slap. So slappy. Oh wow. This is fast and groovy. Nice. Oh, I like tapping. That right there, the tapping kind of sounds like the intro to like the One solo, Metallica's One a little bit. Really, really nice tapping though. A lot faster it seems like though. Oh. Interesting. Little acoustic breaks in there. Love that riff again, where they end it like super heavy. Right there. Nice. Like that little tremolo picked guitar harmony right there. It sounds so nice. It's more of like a traditional death metal kind of songwriting right there, to have that little tremolo picking be like the underlying melody right there. Sounds super nice though. Almost sounds like black metal a little bit, his vocals here too. Yeah, it really does sound like black metal a little bit. Fast beats as well. Slowly fading a little bit, I feel like. Wow. Ending with the fade, wow. Sounds just as epic as the beginning, I feel like. To end like this too. Ending with some ambience again. Wow. Yeah, for an 18 to 19 minute song, it feels like they pulled out all the possible stops you could for like a metal song. Like all the possible techniques slash songwriting tropes and such. Like you had the little piano intro, the slow guitar, slow and melodic guitar in the beginning that slowly transitioned into like a sweep picking solo as well. And then you had a bunch of different songwriting techniques that they used. For example, like having a bar with electric guitars, like distorted electric guitars, and then having it end off with like acoustic, like suddenly transition to acoustic. I heard some of that in there. Of course, the fretless bass sounded super nice. Almost sounded like sweep picking on the fretless bass in some of those parts. It sounded super, super nice. And yeah, it just feels like this song was like a complete package of like all the different techniques that they've been trying to use on this whole record as a whole. But yeah, I will say though, I don't think this will be my favorite track on the record. I thought it might be, but personally, I think the riffs weren't as heavy as some other songs I heard, and I'm a sucker for like really heavy riffs. They were super technical, and of course, the songwriting as always and the techniques and everything were super technical, but I just didn't feel like the riffs were that heavy. Personally, I really enjoyed the melodies and everything, but I think the riffs could have been a bit heavier in this one. And personally, I think when I go back and listen to the whole album, I will probably enjoy some other tracks more. Still, I think some of my favorite tracks were like Gloire, Éternelle, and La Vive and La Martyre. I think those, when I look back on it, those were probably my favorite tracks. Like this song, I could recognize all the excellent songwriting and everything, but personally, just to my ears, I prefer some of the other tracks on this record more. But I'll have to listen to it again in the future to really catch everything because it's a 19-minute song, right? But yeah, that's my reaction to Éternelle by First Fragment. I hope you enjoy listening to this 19-minute song with me. The last track will be the final track on this record, and then maybe I'll talk about some of my closing thoughts and give kind of like a final review of the album. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed watching this with me, and I appreciate you watching this video.